96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Saxons sweep Junkanoo. And Prime Minister Philip Davis pledging a citizenship bill next year. In our interview later in the show, we are expecting to hear from Island Game. That's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Chester Robards filling in for Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, December 28th, 2023, and this is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Chester Robards, filling in for Dwight Strachan another day. In a moment, Laverne Gardner joining me. Also this morning and later on, we'll be moving into Morning Blend business. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. And in the overnight, Saxons sweep Junkanoo. Taking every major category, the Shell Saxon Superstars was declared the winner of the 2023 Boxing Day Junkanoo Parade after the group wowed spectators early yesterday with the execution of its theme, Legendary Ancient Rulers. The fifth A group out the gate, the Saxons earned a total score of 94.03 points as it paid tribute to the emperors, pharaohs, kings, and queens who once ruled some of the world's greatest civilizations. The group won Best Choreography, Best Music, Best Off the Shoulder, Best Overall Performance, Best Shirley Street Performance, Best Lead Costume, Best Banner, Best Step Down, Best Free Dance, and Best Overall Costume. The victory was the Saxons' first since the 2020 New Year's Parade, while the Valley Boys impressed many with its Once Upon a Time, a collection of classical fairy tales theme which drew inspiration from well-known childhood stories. The group ultimately came up short, finishing in second place with a score of 92.14 points. And Prime Minister Philip Davis said yesterday the government will correct citizenship inequalities through legislative changes next year. Davis was responding to questions from reporters on the sidelines of the Boxing Day Junkanoo Parade. In May, a landmark Privy Council decision determined that children born out of wedlock to Bahamian men and foreign women are Bahamian citizens at birth. Other citizenship inequalities persist. Currently, a Bahamian woman married to a foreign spouse cannot automatically pass on citizenship to children born abroad. Davis was asked about this. He said, quote, "We have to correct that. Wherever inequalities and inequities exist, it is my mission to eliminate it. So what is necessary to eliminate all inequalities amongst our citizenry will happen. That too will be part of our legislative agenda." And there was a murder yesterday afternoon and brought the year's murder toll to 108 in what Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernandez has noted is an improvement over last year's numbers. According to police, a man believed to be in his mid-20s was shot and killed on the Providence after 2 p.m. yesterday. Police said the victim was standing on the corner of Monastery Street off Bernard Road when two men in a silver Japanese vehicle shot him multiple times. The murder was the sixth on the island in less than a week. And the registered sex offender Sydney Cooper is back behind bars after being accused of flashing a woman in Coconut Grove on Christmas Eve. Cooper, 47, pleaded not guilty to a charge of indecent exposure at his arraignment before Senior Magistrate Cara Turnquest DeVoe. Prosecutors alleged that Cooper put his penis through the woman's chain link fence and called her over and made a profane remark. In international news, the Colorado Republican Party on Wednesday appealed that state's Supreme Court decision that found former President Donald Trump is ineligible for the presidency, the potential first step to a showdown at the nation's highest court over the meaning of a 155-year-old constitutional provision that bans from office those who engaged in insurrection. The first impact of the appeal is to extend the stay of the 4-3 ruling from Colorado's highest court, which put its decision on pause until January 4th, the day before the state's primary ballots are due at the printer, or until an appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court is finished. Trump himself has said he still plans to appeal the ruling to the nation's highest court as well. The U.S. Supreme Court has never ruled on Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which was added after the Civil War to prevent former Confederates from returning to government. It says that anyone who swore an oath to support the Constitution and then engaged in insurrection against it cannot hold government office. In other AP news, Israeli forces bombarded cities, towns, and refugee camps across Gaza overnight into Thursday, killing dozens of people in an air and ground offensive against Hamas that has widened to most of the territory and forced thousands more to flee from homes and shelters. The war has already killed more than 20,000 Palestinians and driven around 85% of the population of 2.3 million from their homes. Most of northern Gaza has been leveled, largely depopulated and isolated from the rest of the territory for weeks. Many fear a similar fate awaits the south. Israel has vowed to dismantle Hamas, which is still putting up stiff resistance even in the north, and bring back more than 100 hostages still held by the militants after their October 7th attack into southern Israel, in which some 1,200 people, mostly civilians, were killed. Israel has brushed off international calls for a ceasefire, saying it would amount to a victory for Hamas. Let's turn our attention to sports now. Now we're talking about the Nassau Guardians Junior Male Athlete of the Year. Bimini native Valdez Vijay Edgecombe has come out on top as the Nassau Guardians Junior Male Athlete, beating swimmer David Singh by 6 points. Edgecombe is the first basketball player to receive the honor since DeAndre Ayton in 2017, and just the second basketball player to ever receive the honor. Edgecombe came away with 29 points, while Singh had to settle for second with 23 points. Finishing third was swimmer Nigel Forbes with 22 points. There is no doubt that Edgecombe is in the next crop of Bahamians to excel at a high level in basketball. The number 5 nationally ranked ESPN class of 2024 player is highly sought after by several top National Collegiate Athletic Association Division I basketball programs, including the Duke University Blue Devils, the University of Connecticut Huskies, and the University of Michigan Wolverines. He also has an offer to play for the NBA G League Ignite, looking to pave his way to the National Basketball Association one day. Edgecombe recently signed with Lift Sports Management that is spearheaded by former NBA player Mike Miller. And Bahamian professional basketball player Shavano Buddy Hield and the Indiana Pacers picked up their 15th win of the season with a 123-117 triumph over the Houston Rockets on Tuesday. The win lifted the Pacers to over .500 basketball coming out of the Christmas break. The road win at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas improved the Pacers to a 15-14 win-loss record on the season. The win also snapped a 3-game skid. The Rockets have a 15-13 record. Hield was relegated to the bench for this matchup, but was able to come away with 11 points in 33 minutes on the floor. He finished the game shooting 4 for 14 from the field, including 3 for 11 from deep. He also was able to come away with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. And the Bahamas Youth Flag Football League has sent 3 teams to the USA Flag Football Youth World Championships, representing the Bahamas in San Antonio, Texas, December 30th through the 31st, 2023. The teams will compete in the 13 and under, 14 and under, and high school divisions. Team manager Alexandra Deal Coakley expressed her excitement about these 3 teams competing, particularly because these teams have been together for a few years and are showing a lot of chemistry. One of the teams won an international competition and qualified for the Youth World Championships in Tampa, Florida last year. That's your look at the overnight and your look at sports. Your first look at weather is up next. And this is your look at weather. The general situation, a cold front is expected to produce some shower and possible thunderstorm activity as it moves into the northwest Bahamas by this afternoon. Elsewhere, expect an increase in shower activity as the front gradually moves into the central and southeast Bahamas late this evening. In special warnings, mariners should remain vigilant for possible waterspout activity near the front. Beachgoers should exercise caution due to the slight risk of rip currents along Atlantic coastlines. Lastly, localized flash flooding is likely in portions of the northwest Bahamas. For the northwest Bahamas, weather will be partly cloudy and mild, becoming mostly cloudy to overcast and humid by the afternoon hours, with scattered showers and a few isolated thunderstorms, mainly across the extreme northwestern islands. Showers and thunderstorms are expected to be moderate to occasionally heavy in nature. Gradual clearing can be expected later tonight as the front moves southward and weakens. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Some showers and thunderstorms may be strong to severe at times. A small craft caution remains in effect. Winds variable at 10 knots or less, then becoming southerly and increasing to 10 to 15 knots by this afternoon as the front approaches. After the front passes, winds will shift again, now coming from the north to northeast with slightly higher gusts than before. Seas 1 to 3 feet near shore and in sheltered areas, but up to 5 feet along Atlantic coasts. For the central and southeast Bahamas, weather partly to mostly cloudy and mild with widely scattered showers from the afternoon hours into the evening. Showers will be light to occasionally moderate in nature. Showers will continue into tonight and gradual clearing beginning Friday morning. A small craft caution remains in effect. Winds variable at 10 knots or less, then becoming southerly and increasing to 10 to 15 knots later this evening. Seas 1 to 3 feet near shore and in sheltered areas, but up to 4 feet along Atlantic coasts. Your daytime high temperature today, 76 degrees Fahrenheit, 24 degrees Celsius. Your overnight low temperature, 71 degrees Fahrenheit, 22 degrees Celsius. We'll have an extended forecast for the next 2 days for you later in the show. That's your look at weather and look at the overnight. When we come back, we're discussing some of the day's top stories. That's when Morning Blend continues here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Home of fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way.
Struggling to repay your loan? Let us help you get back on track with payment terms that suits your financial situation and improve your credit score and credit report with the Bahamas Credit Bureau. Inquire about our restructured loans today. Call us at 356-7764.
It's $1 million Christmas and Everybody Wins is hooking you up. From December 1st to December 29th, you can win cash giveaways. Get into the cash vault, spin and win, and take advantage of other random raffle drawers. Prizes like mortgage payments, rent payments, utility bills cleared, cold cash, and more. To enter, you must sign up and get a verified account and simply spend $20 or more and you're in. To be eligible, you must be 18 and over. It's $1 million Christmas with Everybody Wins. Terms and conditions apply.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on Guardian Talk Radio and the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices and on your televisions on cable Bahamas Channel 969 or BTC Flow Channel 612. Guardian Radio is all over social media. Again, I'm Chester Robards. Joining me now, Laverne Gardner. Not yet? Okay. You can join our conversation today, though. You can call us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Of course, you can call toll-free now from the Family Islands, 242-300-5720. You can always text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC. That's 422-GR96, 422-4796. Be sure to follow our Facebook page, Morning Blend, facebook.com/morningblend969. You can leave your comments and read about what others are saying about topics on the show. Also coming up later, more weather and traffic. We have business news coming up in Morning Blend Business at 9 a.m. But first, it's time to talk about what's in the news. And in the news, of course, topping the headlines, Saxons sweeping the Junkanoo parade, winning every major Junkanoo category. Of course, as per usual, some upsets about those results, but here we have it. So the group won Best Choreography, Best Music, Best Off the Shoulder, Best Overall Performance, Best Shirley Street Performance, Best Lead Costume, Best Banner, Best Step Down, Best Free Dance, and Best Overall Costume. And the Valley Boys coming in second. And this is the first time the Saxons has won the parade since 2020. But we've only had how many parades since the pandemic? We had last year, and last year was the first since the pandemic, right? I think. Yeah? Yeah. Well, congratulations to the Saxons. Boy, look forward to seeing what is going to happen for New Year's. The race is on now, I guess. I hope that the change in the day didn't dampen some of the group's performance and spirit. I know, Roots came out yesterday to an emptying Bay Street. People had to go home, go to sleep, go to work. I hope that didn't take some of the spirit out of the group to see, fewer people downtown. But we'll see what happens for New Year's. In our story, written by our Rachel Scott, she's saying Saxon Superstar founder Perry Vola Francis said there was not a doubt in his mind that the group would take the top spot. He said, when I saw the splendor and fantastic work that had been done by the young Saxons artists, I started to cry. And I mean real tears, said Francis as he reflected on the performance. He said, quote, I said, man, ain't no way they could top this. None of them. It was a superior presentation. And of course, Roots came in third place with 87.92 points with their theme, Lights, Camera, Action. And Genesis Warhawks finished in fourth with a score of 85.79 points under the theme, Who's Hungry? That was the theme. And though one family was seeking its third straight parade victory, it finished in fifth place with 82.59 points with its theme, Who Are We? The Greatest Show on Earth. In a theme that proved unique, the group paid homage to other Junkanoo groups and various Junkanoo icons, some of whom have passed on. And the Royal Caribbean Music Makers was disqualified. Its theme was Expressions of Love, Dorian's Aftermath. Francis credited young talent and the Saxons' commitment to nurturing it with the victory. He said, quote, we are presently in a new breed of Saxons. We, as an organization, put a lot into our young people to ensure that they are the best that they can be. And during the course of the last 4 years, we have been developing them, encouraging them, and taking them to another level. And I could tell you today was truly a grand occasion for us as we demonstrated that youth, that stamina, and that determination for success in the future. My grandfather always used to tell me that when man has done his best, angels in heaven can't do better, and that's exactly what the occasion reminded me of. Everybody was their best. Everyone was immaculate. I mean, the costumes were beyond. Look at them, and you are in awe and say, my goodness, what a fantastic job. And in the overall B division, Colors won with 77.81 points. Fancy Dancers placed second with 75.08 points. And the Immortals was third with 70.26 points. The Original Congos came in fourth with 68.76 points. The Body of Christ placed fifth with 68.36 points. The Conquerors for Christ was sixth with 62.50 points. Foundation placed seventh with 47.29 points. And Redland Soldiers was eighth with 45.42 points. Chipping Knights, Dynasty, the New Vikings, Barabbas, and the Tribe were all disqualified. Did they say what they were disqualified for? No? Oh, they didn't release the criteria? Okay. Well. Okay. What do you think about that? Let me know. Let me know what you think about those results. You can text us, of course, 422-GR96, 422-4796. You can call us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll-free from the Family Islands if you saw it on television. 242-300-5720. Some people saying, yeah, the Saxons look good, but they didn't look sweeping good. And had taken the whole parade. So let me know what you think. We're also oh, did I say Perry Francis? That's my bad. Percy Vola Francis, not Perry. I said Perry? I don't know. We're also talking about the Prime Minister talking to the press at the Junkanoo Parade, saying that he will correct the citizenship inequalities through legislative changes next year. Something that the country has been waiting on for forever. We've heard that they were going to try and tackle this at some point. So what do you think about that? It's been coming. So the highest court in the land ruled that Bahamian men and foreign women are Bahamian citizens at birth. And now the Prime Minister is saying that the inequality exists where a Bahamian woman who's married to a foreign spouse cannot automatically pass on citizenship to children born abroad. And so Davis is calling this an inequality and that they plan to fix it. Let's see what else he's saying about this. He was asked if Cabinet had discussions in the past few weeks about addressing the issue. And he says, quote, "That's a continuing conversation, just priorities have caused it to happen, not before now. We have prioritized it for the next legislative agenda in the new year coming." So this story goes on to say the issue regarding Bahamians being able to pass on citizenship to their children has been a controversial one in the past with two failed referendums, one in 2002 and the other in 2016, in attempting to address this issue. And the Davis administration has committed to drafting ordinary legislation instead of going to another referendum to correct the issue. In late November, Attorney General Ryan Pinder said the government was finalizing a bill to address the remaining inequalities in the law regarding how Bahamian women pass on citizenship to their children. So, some good news could be coming for those women. Among them, a very famous Bahamian track star who recently had a child with a foreigner overseas, Shawnee Miller-Weibo. Everybody was, of course, making some commentary about who that child would represent if that child becomes a big track star or a big star in general. And it couldn't have been the Bahamas, right? Because you couldn't become a Bahamian citizen automatically, even though I'm sure if the Weebos asked somebody in our government, it would have been very quickly done. Or will be, I should say. Of course, that's up to them. Let's see. In a story on Nassau Guardian, registered Sidney Cooper back in court. And this time for flashing a woman through her gate. This Sidney Cooper is the same offender who caused such an uproar recently when a mob of vigilantes went to his house looking for him because he thought he had committed some crime again. But this time he is in court. He got bail, $3,000, in spite of objections from the prosecutor who cited his extensive rap sheet. Cooper's bail wasn't signed, so he was remanded to prison. His trial is set for February 19th. He did plead not guilty to this offense of flashing his private parts through the woman's chain link fence on the street that he lives. So Cooper had convictions for indecent assault dating back to 2000. He was released from prison in August after serving a 6-year sentence imposed in 2019 for groping a teenager in the downtown area. After he was convicted for that matter, Cooper indecently assaulted the female prosecutor in front of the magistrate. However, he was not prosecuted for that incident. This guy who I'm pretty sure his mother in a story said he's got some issues. Back at it again. Hope he gets some professional help this time. If he didn't get any during the other terms in prison that he's had. And another murder yesterday, again, happening again. These murders are continuing. The 6th murder on New Providence in less than a week. And so the Commissioner of Police spoke yesterday. He said the 2023 murder count is lower than last year's. And he says there remains a lot of work to be done. He said, quote, you set your goals and you try to achieve them. We now need to go back to the table and see how to strategize so we can do some things differently. He said we are now at 107 at this present time. Last year we finished with 128. So we are still down. It gives me the heebie-jeebies to hear us talk about murder numbers like that. One murder is too much, and that still concerns me. And we will continue to do our due diligence to serve the Bahamian people well and encourage other stakeholders to continue to partner with us so that we can address our concerns. That's what the Commissioner of Police said yesterday. So what do you think? What can the police do to really stop these kinds of killings from happening? Police respond to scenes of this nature. That I'm not sure that they have the foresight to stop a murder, but we do have a serious problem with guns on the streets, and I am not sure we're doing everything we can to turn the tide on that problem. We got a call coming in. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
My brother Chester, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes, I want to say compliments to the season to you and your family.
Same to you.
Yes, I was off. I spent some time with my mom in Exuma.
Oh, very nice.
And I had a glorious time.
Excellent.
As I listened to you preach this morning and ask how do we fix this and etc., Mr. Cronick, I've been criticized. And, I don't know why are we so surprised with this social disorder in this country and also in the world. And they can call me names. It really doesn't matter because I understand really what's going on. I listened to you all morning and no one want to call, but that was politics. The issue of the day, politics. Your phone would have been ringing off the hook. I heard you begging for calls. But let me say this. Still my pet peeve. We want to liberalize the principle of God. We want to liberalize all the traditional values. And we still want to expect excellence. I am confused by that. In school, I was taught, if you don't study, you wouldn't get the mark of excellent or A. That principle still stands temporally and spiritually. There's a passage of scripture in the Bible, Ezekiel, I think it is. I cannot quote exactly where. The parent eat the sour grape, and the children's teeth are on edge. Those principles don't change. Those principles don't change. I love my commissioner. He is my friend. Mm-hmm. He is my friend, my brother. They can strategize, and I want to say to my prime minister that I also love, whose mother was born in Exuma. My brother, until we turn back and rewind and go back to the traditional values, that is the family structure, I don't see nothing, no progress. Mm-hmm. I don't see it. National service is one of them. Mm-hmm. We can mentor. Men need to be mentored. There's a king in a man and also a lion. Which one do you want to use, the lion or the king?
Yeah.
A man have to be taught and have to be mentored. We have a crisis, not only here, in the world. Mm-hmm. But we're trying to strategize and liberalize. I don't see no fix and no change. We cannot change the principle of God or the Constitution and expect. I don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Chester.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of the year. It's true. It's true. I've been saying on this radio station for a while now that, you go into these schools, and I'm part of a program that goes into the school to teach family life. And you can tell that there are some young men who are very troubled. There are some that are on the right path, but there are some that are troubled. Some who clearly need some guidance, who find their guidance in the street, and not from a loving paternal figure. Yes, they have a mother at home in some instances, maybe Grammy, in some cases because mommy isn't around or isn't trying to be around in that capacity. And Grammy's old, trying to do her best. But, she can't tame a teenager. There is the lack of a strong male figure in a lot of these young men's lives. And it's causing a problem. Like you said, not just here, across the world. This text message says, Chester, all crimes are high, so what with all these mass excessive promotions about? Promotions supposed to be about jobs, promotions supposed to be about jobs, this is draining our tax money. I think this person is talking about the promotions, the 700 promotions the police force had recently. All right, we got another call coming in. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Morning, Chester.
Good morning.
And good morning to you this morning. There's a new year coming in 224. And I'm not going to be too much on this radio, Sometimes you wonder who's listening. Mm-hmm. And where it's just falling on deaf ear. The caller who called, I agree with him wholeheartedly, but I'm going to extend to my own personal view on what I think about what's going on in this country.
Yes.
I know the Commissioner of Police was given a press conference. Did he? Did it happen?
Yeah. He spoke to the media.
Pardon me?
He spoke to the media, yes.
He did?
He did.
Okay, then. Well, what needs to happen is to step it up a bit. I think the Prime Minister, the Minister of National Security, need to do their diligence and do their press conference and speak to what's happening, okay? Because you asked the question, what can the police do? The police is doing what the police could only do. That's make their arrest and put these persons before the court. I can't see them doing nothing other than, and I think they're doing a good job at what they does.
Yeah.
From my view, okay? I feel like, don't tell me you throw your hand up, nothing can be done. Just if you saying you give up, or you just standing by and just watching to see the outcome of what? Okay? If these guys who are murdering one another, for example, right? Even that is not fair to them. Okay? Sure enough, they may be criminals, but even them and all deserve a chance. You don't think so?
Yeah.
A chance, you might say, well, what do you mean by a chance? A chance to benefit from this country, a chance for a mind to change towards crime. Something has to be done.
Yeah.
Okay, we have bright mind in this country. You can tell me persons from this crime and going on and on and on to the point where Bahamians are not even worried about it no more. I'm not hearing nothing much from the opposition. I'm not hearing nothing at all from the government. I am not hearing an outrage from the public or from this country, like nothing. Something has to be done, even if you notice the young kids now on the street, Chester. And if you see the attitude and the way they're going about their everyday lives, it's as if they just have this anger. You know? How can we then be facing the same generation?
Yep.
We have to save this country. And I don't want to hear about no parents this and parents that, because the parents can't do nothing. Sometimes they're living in young home, and I'm not speaking from me because I have two boys. And I'm proud of both of them. One is a university student, and one is on the police force. So I'm not talking about me personally. I am saying I more or less interact with young people in my community. We have these young persons living in these parents, and these parents more afraid of them. They're afraid of these children. They can't even open their mouth in their own house.
Yeah.
So when you talk to your children and parents, to parents, you understand? We got to move from towards that statement and find ways to fix what's happening in this country. Now, on this 224, I ain't have much to say on this airwave because guess what? You're sounding stupid, and it ain't seems like nothing is being fixed, okay? And I know the government of the day is trying to do best when it comes to maybe going away and bringing whatever they blue chip, whatever they do, whatever. But unless you fix the things that are hurting the Bahamian the most, nothing happening. And you know what's hurting Bahamian? The fear for crime and the price of grocery in the food store. You hardly can afford to eat.
Yep.
You understand? That's what is hurting the Bahamian. When you go look at your bills and stuff, how the taxes just eating away everything. And until you could fix these things, I don't see nothing happening.
Yep.
That's just from my view.
Yeah.
Okay? So have a 2024, Chester. I'm
You
not
as
going to
well.
say this will be the last time you hear my voice.
No, don't let it be the last time.
But on a serious note, I just need to sit back, sit low, and watch what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because my children may be living a good life, but I'm afraid for them in the nighttime. Sometimes if they're out, can't feel safe. You know, as a parent, you're wondering, well, I wonder if he's going to end up in a spot where somebody is going to be looking for someone and he end up getting killed. You know, as parents, we think about those things.
Yeah.
So you have to fix it, man, okay?
Especially your police officer, son.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then congrats to all the police officers who get promoted. And you're doing an extra job. You're doing a wonderful job. Continue.
Thank you.
But it's our leaders who we put there. We select them to do right by us.
Yeah.
And so far, I'm not saying it. Now, you might be saying it, Chester, but I ain't saying it.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good day. Yeah, I can hear the frustration in her voice. Frustrated. I'm frustrated. I guess you could hear it sometimes in my voice. Because we have to start from the root of the problem. And the root of the problem, as she said, you see them on the street. Children, high school, maybe even middle school aged, disrespectful, cussing all over the place. I know that this wasn't always like this, but the population has increased, and people are impoverished. Like she said, some people can't buy groceries. People are hurting. We have to figure out how, as a collective society, we're going to deal with this problem that we have, because it can't be the government by itself. I, for one, still think that we need to completely overhaul the education system. I'm not sure that it's working for the society that we have. We need to continue with parental education, especially for people of low income, from low income families, and try to continue to slow the birth rate in those poor families, because you know what happens, how those children grow up. A lot of them without fathers, a lot of them with no hope of becoming anything else but a menace. So, we had a call coming in. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Morning, Chester. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Wonderful. Great. What caught my attention on the news this weekend is the press statement, the Minister Mario Boleg in reference to the prodigal sons, Jungle Group.
Mm-hmm.
If you can date back to almost 10 years now, right? The prodigal son has never really came to Bay Street as a senior or major group, okay? They've always either get disqualified, whereby they cannot numbers that actually qualify them as a senior group, or a group that actually stands the power with the senior group.
Right.
But each year they keep giving them what it's called seed money, and then you hear the prodigal son disqualified, they ain't coming.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, years gone by, they've even held up the parade, people waiting for the prodigal son.
Mm-hmm.
The minister needs to realize that the prodigal son ship has left the harbor. They need to either try to encourage them to take a seat in the B category, or try not to come to those meetings to pick up any seed money as far as a senior group, okay?
Yeah.
They've always fallen short of the amount of person required to qualify them as a senior group, okay? Always, okay? So either they try to get them to come out as a B category, or link up with the music makers or another group. That ship has left the harbor, okay? To qualify, the prodigal son is finished, finito, complete, done, okay? Ciao, okay? They need to forgive it every year to keep on the prodigal son to find out,
You think they should tell them, look, quit this particular category, or don't don't even entertain them.
Exactly, relegate them to a B category, because obviously as a senior category, colors even and the fancy dancers, them being looking better than them. Their ship has left the harbor. You can't every year keep on saying the same thing. They've held up the parades for many years. People looking for them to come. They didn't come. And when they come, they got disqualified. So what happened to the seed money? Which is actually our money.
Yeah.
That's a wasted fund and wasted time. People keep on saying the space in the junk, Yeah. There are some things that you have to actually look at. You have to study what happened years go by and move on. The prodigal son is only a distraction to the Jungle group. Yes, I said junior. Maybe that's where they need to be, in the junior category. Also, right, I was listening to the Jungle. They call the music maker's costume, that they say this costume qualifies for a forfeit in this category. Then at the end of it, they said, the music makers being disqualified. If you're disqualified, then don't give them no prize in no category. And if they don't have the numbers, try to relegate them to B category also. They got a great sponsor, but if they can't meet the numbers that require them for senior category, if they can't come up to that division, obviously you need to be relegated, and we need to start setting standard. In fact, before they give these groups the state money, they need to send a team by to say, okay, show me your members, show me the costume that's going to succeed you as far as qualified you for placement in the senior category before they issue state money. There got to be a committee that they investigate to see if they qualify for this division.
Yeah.
Every year, at the same time, they said, this one hasn't come, this one is qualified. That's a waste of time.
Yeah,
thereby, there are people waiting.
That costume is saying that was an individual prize, even though the group might have been disqualified.
Yes, also, okay. But then now they said rather than the tribe is coming out, right? Then they said rather than the tribe being disqualified, You need to have a committee that says whether this group actually can qualify themselves for that division. Okay? Stop, or come as a fun group. Okay? Come as a fun group, Anybody can be a fun group. There's no qualifications for that. But as far as standard, Jungle need to set a standard so they do not waste people's time.
Yeah.
Okay? And the groups can move faster.
Yeah. There's a lot of work.
Yes,
I feel like we always trying to figure it out. But yeah, I guess a lot of work still to be done. Thank you for that contribution on John Canoe. There's some text messages coming in. Just read some before we got to go to the break. This person says, is that woman not listening to herself? She says it's not, but she did a good job with her children, and she is encountering all the ills of society. She brought up her children right. It is the parent's duty. This person says, good morning, Chester. The caller literally come on the show and say the parents cannot do anything. I think she's saying some parents cannot do anything in their own homes. This person says, please, as parents, it is our responsibility to ensure that our children become productive, responsible citizens. Yes, there are external factors that affect those outcomes, but the fact is too many parents are not doing their jobs and leaving society to raise their children. We see how that's turning out. Yep. Well, she's talking about some homes, and she spoke about some homes where the parents are afraid of their children. And parents, maybe in some of those cases, it's just a mother. This person says the next commissioner needs to be someone who understands policing and can think analytically. Saturation patrols is a failed strategy. At minimum, it's not sustainable, so don't come with that. And then this person says, in reference to the prodigal sons, they clearly need new leadership and stringent oversight. Junkanoo can be used to keep idle hands busy, but it can't be wasted money. They need external management oversight starting from June. If they refuse the terms, don't give the money, just like a normal contract. Yep. All right, let's try to squeeze this call in before we go to the break. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, Chester, I agree with Dr. P. Because, when we look at our society, I talk about the world now because I live in the Bahamas, right?
Yeah.
Most homes are single parent. I was brought up under single parent home, and I gone on the crime road. So I can't say all females would be, right?
Right.
But the problem, I think it is really, when you have a single parent without the opposite, the male there, right? Be it a good man or a bad man, you know what? There's a balancing act for that child, because guess what? Without the father in that home, the mother, if she's frustrated at that man, she basically indoctrinates that child that the father ain't nothing. And look at the society, the father ain't nothing. Man ain't nothing. You could be just like your pa. And you know what? These guys, right down to the kids right now, same thing going on, right? They have no respect for man. They have no respect for life. Because if a mother tells the child, your pa ain't nothing, he ain't nobody, and the child he grows up, he grow up in that indoctrination. That's what we have in society today, okay?
Yeah.
And it's uncontrollable because these kids they have no fear for nothing. Why? Because guess what? If you don't fear man, woman, it's a joke. All right. And I mean, like, it goes on and on and on and on. And I feel like the government encourages it, the church encourages it, because the government for years, they empowered women. They disenfranchised men to the day. You see, you can't have such women and just abandon the boys, abandon the men, and this is all about women. It cannot work. It cannot work. Because every child is not a woman, or every child is not a girl. Okay, and the boys are the ones who are basically caught up in this here cycle of just disorder and chaos.
Yeah.
And some of the girls also, because you know what, they grow up the same way, because guess what, they ain't got no respect for man. And if you ain't respect man, the society is just how it is, out of order, chaos. And the government should look into programs that empower men and boys, because there's a big imbalance. If you look around in society, I mean, go from business to business, right? I'll say about 90% of business are occupied by women, okay? And all of them are just dressed up and like they're going to London or Paris or something. It's sick. But while they're the men, they're the boys. They're on the street. No one cares. Change, and if it doesn't change, you just continue to look for the mayhem. There should be programs in place for the young boys. Like I see the young girls, they have dance and all these other things that they go to, and they love it, right? But what about the boys? No kind of nothing where they can use their hands and their minds to basically get out of that. I'm talking about cycle of just chaos.
Yeah.
You know, these boys have all kind of. I'm talking about like the civil mechanic school or whatever, so that these like young men can get into stuff, even in building boats, carpentry, whatever, because guess what? Until we do that, we'll always have mayhem, man. You can't just be empowering the women. The PLP did it, the FNM did it, the church doing it, and then right now they're still doing it. And you know what? And society making sure that there's no unification between man and woman. Man and woman make children, not woman.
Yeah. All right, we got to go to a break. Thank you for that contribution. So we're going to go to this break, and Morning Blend will continue on the other side.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. Dozens of people reported dead after Israel bombed cities, towns, and refugee camps across Gaza overnight and into this morning as its battles with Hamas grind on. The AP's Donna Warder.
The Health Ministry of Gaza says more than 21,100 Palestinians have been killed in the war. Israeli officials are threatening stronger military action against Hezbollah militants north of Israel in Lebanon. The two sides have traded fire almost daily since the war started.
A New Hampshire voter asked Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley yesterday about the reason for the Civil War. She didn't mention slavery in her response. The voter said he was astonished. Haley talked about the role of government, replying that it was about the freedoms of what people could and couldn't do. Gas is $3.12 a gallon today, expected to be one of the busiest days of the holiday season on the road. Saturday is expected to be busier than usual on the roads, too. I'm Rita Foley.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit Perkins to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
It's time for your first look at traffic. And things are looking pretty good right now. Let's see your usual hot spots. Not much ado at those hot spots. Now everything is pretty much flowing at this hour. Is nobody going to work this week? That is the question. You're looking pretty good out on the streets this morning. Drive with caution, though, and be kind to other drivers. We'll have another traffic report for you in the 8 o'clock hour. And as you look at weather, your general situation, a cold front is expected to produce some shower and possible thunderstorm activity as it moves into the northwest Bahamas by this afternoon. Elsewhere, expect an increase in shower activity as the front gradually moves into the central and southeast Bahamas late this evening. In special warnings, mariners should remain vigilant for possible waterspout activity near the front. Beachgoers should exercise caution due to the slight risk of rip currents along Atlantic coastlines. Lastly, localized flash flooding is likely in portions of the northwest Bahamas. For the northwest Bahamas, weather partly cloudy and mild, becoming mostly cloudy to overcast and humid by the afternoon hours with scattered showers and a few isolated thunderstorms mainly across the extreme northwestern islands. Showers and thunderstorms are expected to be moderate to occasionally heavy in nature. Gradual clearing can be expected later tonight as the front moves southward and weakens. Expect gusty winds and thunderstorms. Some showers and thunderstorms may be strong to severe at times. A small craft caution remains in effect. Winds variable at 10 knots or less, then becoming southerly and increasing to 10 to 15 knots by this afternoon as the front approaches. After the front passes, winds will shift again, now coming from the north to northeast with slightly higher gusts than before. Seas 1 to 3 feet near shore and in sheltered areas, but up to 5 feet along Atlantic coasts. For the central and southeast Bahamas, weather partly to mostly cloudy and mild with scattered showers from the afternoon hours into the evening. Showers will be light to occasionally moderate in nature. Showers will continue into tonight with gradual clearing beginning Friday morning. A small craft caution remains in effect. Winds variable at 10 knots or less, then becoming southerly and increasing to 10 to 15 knots later this evening. Seas 1 to 3 feet near shore and in sheltered areas, but up to 4 feet along Atlantic coasts. Your daytime high temperature today, 76 degrees Fahrenheit, 24 degrees Celsius. Your overnight low temperature, Fahrenheit, or 22 degrees Celsius. In the 8 o'clock hour, we will have your outlook for Friday and Saturday. That's your weather, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Ready to break free from the pump? Visit Easy Car Sales and take the wheel of an electric vehicle. It's not just a test drive, it's a revolution. Dump the pump and drive electric. Visit easy242.com.
The National Insurance Board encourages all employers and self-employed persons to stay ahead of the 2024 rush by scheduling a one-on-one appointment with your inspector ensures that your account is up to date and compliant, making it a hassle-free process when applying for your tax compliance certificates and business license renewals with the Department of Inland Revenue. Stay ahead, avoid delays. Keep your business thriving. Contact your inspector now. Your success is our priority.
Cashmas time, here we go. Mercy's doing it big this year. Cashmas time with extra chair. 12 days of merry winnings from your friends at Island Bay. Friends we trust, hey we know. Cashmas time, here we go. Prizes and lots of dough. This Christmas, come catch a lick with 20 on your account. Quick, quick, quick. And you can win some awesome stuff at Percy's Island Bay.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
Struggling to repay your loan? Let us help you get back on track with payment terms that suits your financial situation and improve your credit score and credit report with the Bahamas Credit Bureau. Inquire about our restructured loans today. Call us at 356-7764.
What would you do with extra cash? Plan a trip.
Overhaul my wardrobe.
With CIBC First Caribbean, you can get comfy with savings on your mortgage costs. Buy or build your home or switch your mortgage to us and get up to US $1,000 off the loan application fee. Up to US $2,000 off home insurance. With up to US $10,000 towards switching costs, your pockets will be comfy too. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/get comfy for more information. Conditions apply.
Mr. Campbell, we have your test results. Do you want the good news or the bad news first?
Good news. No, wait, bad news. Give it to me straight, doctor.
Your blood work came back. You've got erythrocytes all over.
Oh no, this can't be happening.
Here's the good news. That just means red blood cells. It's a good thing. You're completely fine.
With 99% in 5 days, we're like a doctor who doesn't want to be a comedian. CG Atlantic, medical in life. Good like that.
There's a new electric vehicle in town, the Jack brand of SUVs, trucks, sedans, and commercial vans, available only at Easy Car Sales, home of the fully electric vehicle. For a powerful, smooth ride at a fraction of the cost to drive, leave the pump behind and hit the road with Jack. Visit easy242.com to see our brand new Jack models and drop into Easy Car Sales for a test drive. It'll have you singing, hit the road with Jack, and don't you pump gas no more.
'Tis the season for sharing with loved ones and friends, and a time for reflection on the year soon to end. But before this year ends and the new has to begun, we at Screws and Fasteners World would share a gift too, though it be only one. For trusting our services in projects great or small, we thank you for stopping by or giving us a call. As we bid farewell to this year at its end, should we not meet tomorrow or on the other days round the bend, have a happy Christmas and a safe celebration next year for another collaboration.
Twas the heights of the season. Scotiabank wanted to give the people a lift for mom, dad, and kids. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan and unwrap the perfect Christmas gift. Fix your home, buy new appliances, or go on vacation. Scotiabank is giving holiday cheer with an all-expense-paid weekend trip for two to Miami for 3 days and 2 nights. When you apply for a Scotia Plan loan from now until December 31st, enjoy low interest rates and no payments for up to 2 months. Unwrap the perfect Christmas with Scotiabank.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the new way.
Good morning and welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Chester Robards. Laverne apologizes for not being able to be here. Let's see. We got some text messages coming in. This person says, Morning, Chester. I will say, as a former gang member in the 90s, 2000s, to change the minds and hearts of young men starts from young at homes. It starts with God, love, fathers in their life also. The fear of discipline in school and system, actually, it depends on the individual. This person says, I stopped because I got in trouble and was given a second chance. Police and teachers can only do so much. Thank you for that contribution. Yeah. God, love, and fathers in their life. Yeah. You know, you have direction, and then you have the direction from the parental figures. And the love from the parental figures. You have direction from the Almighty God and the fear of God, knowing that when you pick up that gun and go out on that street, you know, what's happening to you after that death? You know, where's your soul going? And this person says, Chester, I agree with the caller. This society caters to women and the outcome is horrible. This women empowerment foolishness needs to stop because clearly women don't care about men's issues. Interesting. Boy, that'll be something to go down. A wormhole to go down today. This person says, Bahamians need to come to terms that having children out of wedlock is not a contributor to crime. We do not even come in the top 20 in such. Number 1 is Chile with 75% birth rate to single mothers. Number 2 is Costa Rica with 73%. There is no murder crisis or crime crisis in those countries. So the problem is greater than we conceive. I say it is a lack of value for self and most of all, lack of value for others. Additionally, there is a lack of opportunities to release the pressure of the male ego. Okay? Good morning, Chester and Bahamas. Chester, no condemnation towards the caller who spoke to Ezekiel 12:23, but when one reads Jeremiah 31:29-30, then read the New Covenant to Israel in Jeremiah 31:31-34, there you would get the understanding and meaning of those Bible verses. This is from the King James Version Bible. All will suffer for their own sins. I believe we all know the right and the wrong things to do, not to do it, and to do. Yep. Okay. We'll discuss those in the 8 o'clock hour. And we're going to the news break, and Morning Blend will continue on the other side. And now at 8:16 is your final look at weather for today. Your forecast: mariners should remain alert for possible funnel cloud formation. Reduced visibility is expected in showers or thunderstorms. Beachgoers should also exercise caution along Atlantic coasts due to the slight risk of rip currents. Finally, there is the possibility of flash flooding in flood-prone areas during heavy or prolonged rainfall events. Your general situation: a cold front is expected to produce some shower and possible thunderstorm activity as it moves in the northwest Bahamas by this afternoon. Elsewhere, expect an increase in shower activity as the front gradually moves into the central and southeast Bahamas late this evening. For the northwest Bahamas, weather: scattered showers and a few isolated thunderstorms, mainly across the extreme north. Showers and thunderstorms are expected to be moderate to occasionally heavy in nature. Gradual clearing can be expected later tonight as the front moves southward and weakens. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Some showers and thunderstorms may be strong to severe at times. A small craft caution remains in effect. Seas variable at 10 knots or less, then becoming southerly and increasing to 10 to 15 knots by this afternoon as the front approaches. After the front passes, winds will shift again, now coming from the north to southeast with slightly higher gusts than before. For the central and southeast Bahamas, widely scattered showers from the afternoon hours into the evening. Showers will be light to occasionally moderate in nature. Showers will continue into tonight and gradually clearing beginning Friday morning. A small craft caution is in effect. Winds variable at 10 knots or less, then becoming southerly and increasing to 10 to 15 knots later this evening. Seas 1 to 3 feet near shore and in sheltered areas, but up to 4 feet along Atlantic coasts. In your extended forecast, another cold front will begin affecting the northwest Bahamas by Friday evening, bringing some very cool conditions across most areas for the next several days. On Saturday, this strong cold front will continue to support cooler temperatures while bringing some rainfall over portions of the northwest and central and southeast Bahamas. Moderate high pressure will build in the wake of the front on Sunday, setting up for fair and stable conditions into the new year. Your forecast for Friday: expect a stray shower or two, mainly in the southeast Bahamas, becoming fair and cool at night. Winds west and seas 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Your outlook for Saturday: widely scattered showers from most areas. A few isolated showers are likely overnight in the central and southeast Bahamas. Gradual clearing can be expected in the northwest Bahamas by late evening. Winds northwest to north at 10 to 15 knots, with gusts up to 20 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. That's your weather forecast for today.
At RBC, we know buying your new ride is a very personal experience with many decisions to make. That's why we leave the car choice to you and ask that you leave the rest to one of our RBC Auto Finance specialists, trained to provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream car a reality. The RBC Auto Finance team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/lovemyride to connect with an RBC Auto Finance specialist in your area.
And here's your final look at traffic for this morning. Some traffic building up there on Gladstone Road at the roundabout at JFK Drive. Not as much as other days, of course, but there is some slowdown on JFK headed westbound past Gladstone Road, but it is moving. Nothing much to talk about at Saunders Beach. Some traffic on Bay Street as you approach East Street. Those are your hot spots. So Malabutla Highway, some traffic building up there, but it looks like it's moving. And Blue Hill Road and Carmichael Road looking pretty good for you this morning. The traffic isn't even past Southwest Plaza. Some slow-moving traffic on the hill as you approach Soldier Road, on the hill, but as you approach Soldier Road, approach the hill, some slow-moving traffic there, but it is, again, it's moving. A bit of traffic for you on Blue Hill Road as you approach Independence Drive. But that seems to be moving as well. And some traffic on Robinson Road. But again, not much to talk about. It's a good commute for you this morning. Still, be conscious and careful and drive safely. That's your look at traffic.
It's $1 million Christmas and Everybody Wins is hooking you up. From December 1st to December 29th, you can win cash giveaways. Get into the cash vault, spin and win, and take advantage of other random raffle drawers. Prizes like mortgage payments, rent payments, utility bills cleared, cold cash, and more. To enter, you must sign up and get a verified account and simply spend $20 or more and you're in. To be eligible, you must be 18 and over. It's $1 million Christmas with Everybody Wins. Terms and conditions apply.
Champ! Baby girl, Cable Guy is here.
Since the very beginning, you have been with us.
This is called wave, and this is called the internet. Okay. All right, so
for over 2 decades, we've been with you every step of the way.
Weevo is total class. Look at her go. She's in front.
So yeah, times may have changed, and so have your needs as our valued customers. But some connections stand the test of time. Rev, we're with you.
The Nassau Cruise Port presents Phil Stubbs Live at the all-new Nassau Cruise Port Amphitheater. January 13th. Gates open at 7 p.m. Showtime 9 p.m.
Book your tickets now at BahamasEtickets.com.
General admission $50, 75 VIP. Prepare to be blown away as we kick things off with one of the Bahamas' beloved artists. You're raking and scraping with Ira Storm, Nishi LS, and Phil Stubbs Live.
Brought to you by the Nassau Cruise Port. It's not just a concert, it's a night to remember.
You've tried everything. ASUS with your mother's cousin's sister's auntie, and even hiding your money under your mattress. But is your money safe? Your Bahamian dollar deposit in a member bank or credit union is insured up to $50,000. If anything happens, your deposit up to the insured value will be returned to you thanks to Deposit Insurance. Visit Deposit Insurance Corporation at www.dic.bf.
Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
Scotia is turning your wishes into wins this holiday season. Spend $120 or more on your Scotia credit card between October 25th and January 10th, 2024 for a chance to win an amazing prize valued at $15,000, plus 2 consolation prizes of $5,000 each. Don't have a Scotia credit card yet? Apply today for a Scotiabank credit card online at bs.scotiabank.com or visit any Scotiabank branch. Conditions apply.
Christmas Day. Alright. I've been hoping we'll share every day this year. That when Christmas was here, it would bring us love, lots of holiday cheer, and it did. Merry Christmas,
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Chester Robards, rounding out the year while Dwight Strachan takes the rest of his vacation. What a lucky guy. We're continuing our conversation, and we have a lot of conversation about what's causing a lot of the problems that we have with the young men in our country. We're talking about Junkanoo. And it's very interesting, this text messenger. I'll read it again, saying Bahamians need to come to terms that having children out of wedlock is not a contributor to crime. We do not even come in the top 20 in such. They say number 1 is Chile with a 75% birth rate to single mothers. Number 2 is Costa Rica with 73%. And then they say there is no murder crisis or crime crisis in those countries. So the problem is greater than we conceive. I say it's a lack of value for self and most of all, lack of value for others. Additionally, there is a lack of opportunities to release the pressure of the male ego. I don't know that there is no causation in the Bahamas, and maybe there needs to be more studies done. But we'll see. I mean, those societies probably way of dealing with things than we do. Maybe socially, and I don't know about Chile and Costa Rica. I've been to Costa Rica, and they got some interesting, very liberal things going on there. Very widespread, small communities. It's a very nice place. We got some calls coming in. Let's take these calls. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Good morning, Chester. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
This is my first time calling. I listen to you all the time. Season greeting to you and your family.
Same to you, and thank you for calling.
And I listen what everybody is saying. First thing is called should be the first Santa in your home.
Yes, ma'am.
Your home. Sometimes the parents, they take the children to the church, and they put a cell phone in their hand. Mm-hmm. They playing games while church is going on. So home first, and then it should be the school. Mm-hmm. Have you ever watched and see what our children are going to school in? The uniform is so small, it's so tight. I wonder how they could breathe. They could barely walk in these uniforms. Even I think sometimes the principal should really be to the gate to see what these children are coming in school, what they're wearing. The uniform really is too tight. It's nothing going to happen until we put God back first in our home, in our life, and then it's a job. Because the school, you are preparing the children for the job. So if from home, no structure in the home, and then they don't hardly go to church, and then you take them to school, they develop an attitude. Do our parents really know who our children are keeping company with? Mm-hmm. Some parents are so busy they're holding down 2 and 3 jobs, mm-hmm. because sometimes there's no father in the home. The father is mother and father, or there's sometimes it's no mother in the home, so the father has his hand full. Mm-hmm. It's nothing going to happen until these leaders come together. I even mean the church too, come together. It's not all the time conference, all of these things. Are you really looking at our generation and see really what's going on inside this Bahama Island? Our children them are smoking. They're cursing. They're carrying on. If you go to say, how you doing or good morning, they want to fight. You have to be so careful. There's nothing going to happen until we put God first back in our home, in our lives, get ourselves together. This nation is dying. You think people can't see it?
Yeah.
But our nation are following up the streams, God. Everything they see other nation doing, they bring it into our country. But then we all our leaders, our leaders, they have to do something, and the parents have to do something. Come together. Children are having children.
Yep.
When you see, I was going to school. When you see on Monday, a principal come and they check your fingernail. They make sure your uniform is clean, everything. But look at children. The pants so tight they could barely walk. So this is all I wanted to say. And I continue to pray for our children and pray for our nation.
Yeah.
We have to pray for our nation.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your call. We got another caller coming in. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Hey, Jester, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning.
I endorse everything the previous caller has said. First and foremost, we have basically lacked the disciplines that many of our forefathers or our parents have taught us. I noticed the decline really began somewhere back in the early 80s. To answer when called. You cannot speak when two adults are speaking.
Yeah.
You be silent, and so on and so forth. So the value system has shifted so dramatically that we have what we have today. Single parent homes, I'm going to tell you, that's a very big contributing factor. The absence of males in these families, is something that we can look at, because proper discipline and parenting happens to be the key for the day, and that's something that many do not get today. Okay, so we have to look at all those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that contribution. There are lots of factors. Something that was mentioned by a caller earlier in the show before we went to the news was addressed by a texter. I don't know if he wanted me to call his name, but anyway, he's saying, the caller was saying that there are lots of things available for young girls to do to keep them, I guess, out of trouble, but not many things for young boys to do. But I didn't protest as he said it then, but I got a text message saying all those things are available for young boys, but few people are bringing their children to these groups, and also these groups have little to no funding. He also says the so-called boys are forced to be men at 13 and start working to provide for their families. Look in all the food stores and gas stations. Girls are working prematurely, but it's usually at 16 as a cashier. So the issues are more complicated than just an support for women and not for men. He says, except in STEM and ICT. Thus, people lazily applying what other deficiencies in other countries to us. And saying, lastly, women were enfranchised as high as the men were enfranchised. The issue is that neither of us were enfranchised enough for success to be an exception and not the rule. The ability to work outside and then be underpaid, vote for the same 3 millionaires and get a mortgage without a husband, so you now have your own debt, won't move you very far. Once again, there are a handful of instances where there are programs that benefit one gender over another. They aren't programs for adolescents for the most part. Also, girls aren't going to brownies anymore either. It's just the way we measure girls' failure is if she gets pregnant before graduating. Boys have more ways that we can be seen as a failure in the eyes of society. And he says, you know what else works? Either good parents or bad parents. These mediocre parents who don't train their kids properly, but not horrible enough for the kids to rebel against them. Outlook there. I find there is some new way of parenting, and I'm pretty sure it's seeping over to the Bahamas from the U.S. That's very hands-off, allowing children to govern themselves. I find there are lazy parents who don't reinforce rules that they're trying to instill in their kids. You know, they'll talk once and the kid doesn't comply, they'll talk again. We've moved into this system, and we've had shows here to talk about beating and how it doesn't work. When you say beating, we're not talking about a fist fight, you know, but some form of discipline that's maybe a spanking or something. You know, we're starting to be indoctrinated into not believing that is something that we should do to our kids. And we sound like Americans with this timeout stuff all day. Timeout, timeout, timeout. And people don't like to hear when you say, oh, you know, I grew up getting a beating. A spanking, I should say, because beating sounds terrible. A spanking when I did something wrong and I turned out fine. You know, I don't think I have any scars. The spankings that I got for not listening to my mother or breaking a rule. As a matter of fact, I think I'm better for it. People don't feel that way. You know, I used to visit my godbrother in Connecticut, and his parents were always, oh, it's time out. This kid was so rude. Oh my goodness. My sister and I used to be like, what is going on in this house? And, you know, he does something wrong, he's time out. He goes sit in a chair for a couple minutes to think about what he did. I don't know what he's thinking about while he's sitting in the chair, but they come out the chair and not much improved. But again, you know, you take the principles that we grew up with, that our parents grew us up on, that they were grown up on, biblical principles, you know, spare the rod, spoil the child. You know, we're not talking about swinging a metal rod at anybody. You know, I'm sure that's not what the Bible is talking about. We're talking about not raising kids without two parents in a home. You know, you can see the changes in children when families break up, when they're forced to be split between mommy and daddy, when daddy seems to not care anymore and is doing his own thing while mommy is suffering with these two kids with all the energy in the world while mommy has to work and has zero energy left when she gets home. You know, some of these men are really, not just when they break up their homes, destroying the family, but destroying the children and the women. We got a call coming in. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Yes, I'd like to make a comment on these young people today.
Yes, sir.
I'm a firm believer of some people you can talk to, some people are made to pay, and then some people got to feel pain. Those are the three categories in dealing with a human being. That's what dictatorship was all about. When laws are passed, everybody abide by them, and the kings and queens or emperors of the time didn't have problems with people like what we are having today. So we need to look back at the old days. And the next thing, it's a difference between a spanking and a beating.
Mm-hmm.
When we were growing up, we got beaten. The other set of people, they spank their children on their hands or spank them on their hip. It's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us are better for the beatings we got.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we went astray, we were able to get back in line.
Yeah.
So these young people today, a lot of them only respond to pain and when they got to pay for something they have done.
Mm-hmm.
this talking and telling them to reflect on what they did. You could do that with a small amount of children.
Mm-hmm.
A small amount. But these children today don't even say good morning or thank you. Or if you open the door for a young lady, they walk right inside, don't even say thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
And you see, so it's all gone up. So we got to go back to kindergarten, teaching them this. I always say all these we teach, and they ain't teaching them to have common sense, manners, and respect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They can figure out the quadratic equation. They can figure out speed, all these things.
Yeah.
But they have no social graces.
Yeah.
So we got to go back to the old, like Dr. P say, we got to go back to the old school.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only way out of this thing. And the police cannot act before a crime is done.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't blame the police.
No.
When a crime is done, they're all out and they got the whole area surrounded.
Yep.
So you can't blame them. Now the courts, we can put a little bit of blame on them.
Mm-hmm.
But these people, we got, like I said, it's only a few you can talk to, a small amount. And then the rest got to be made to pay or feel.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I don't know about the beaten part, but I don't fall into that category. But we did get spanking, I can tell you that. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
My apologies for calling back. I got distracted while I was making my call.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if you would.
Yeah, got very distracted.
Yeah.
Let me piggyback on what the previous caller had spoken to already. Mm-hmm. If you notice, most of the commentary this morning is based upon the old traditional values that we as adults had to come up with when it came down to chastisement of our parents back in the day. Spanking let me leave spanking alone. Many of us got beaten.
Mm-hmm.
And the beating wasn't that out of a violence, but it was beaten because we had done something wrong. It's chastisement.
Mm-hmm.
And as we can hear, a lot of persons that they talk about beating the child is breeding violence in the child. That's a bunch of nonsense because that does not apply to everyone. Many of us got beaten. I was beaten. And am I a criminal today?
Yeah.
Do I go around hurting people today? No, I don't. But to try and dismiss and bring about modern stuff, whereas you're trying to dismiss the way that some of us were brought up, and we turn out just fine. I mean, you just can't dismiss it.
Let me ask you this: do you think the level of the beating was proportionate in a good way, or disproportionate in a good way to the level of love in the house?
Well, in my particular instant, when I look back in retrospect, and I then have an understanding of what the discipline was all about and why it now comes into the realm that now I understand the question that you're asking. It was very proportionate for me because my parents, they loved their 7 kids implicitly. In fact, he was a disciplinarian. And the good thing about the way that he disciplined us was that even though we got beaten, he explained why we were getting beaten.
Yeah.
And that helped us then to curb our attitudes and our actions and become better citizens all for it.
Yeah.
But this thing with sitting in the corner, what they call
Time out.
That does not work for every child. Just as beating don't work for every child.
Yeah.
I just believe that we need to find the balance back in these homes. Many of them, of course, as well, I was brought up into a spiritual home where God was center for everything that in my family.
Yeah.
And so with that teaching, other adults able to discipline us if we did wrong. Today that does not happen.
Yeah.
You find parents now going to school to beat up the school teacher because the teacher disciplined the child for disrupting the class. Back in our times, we used to look forward to getting the discipline in school and then praying not for the news to get home because you can get another one.
Yeah, 2 levels.
It's 2 levels, and so we got to fix this problem. And my last point here. I believe the introduction of the youth cadet service I think that is a very, very important aspect that we have to really consider in introducing, because a lot of these, people tend to look at the young men or the boys as the troublemakers in so many instances. But you got these young girls doing the exact same thing, and it's like they're getting a blight. But we have not disciplined our male roles, our male figures, the little boys, to understand that not everything that you want to do for a young lady or for a girl or for a young woman is good. You need to now look at the consequences to your actions and see whether they filter out whereas, okay, well, if I do this, what kind of problems am I going to get it? Am I going to be incarcerated in prison for this while she's still out here running free? Yeah. Is that what we're all about? We have to fix this situation. I think the youth service is very important when it comes down to discipline from a very young age. Yeah. Stop these kids from rolling all over the place after school. They're not enrolled in any after-school programs. Yep. They're around on the block smoking dope, talking foolishness and stuff. Find a technical cadet corps like we have now, or really strengthen the youth empowerment side of it and get these kids after school who have nothing to do, get them enrolled into these programs so we can teach them structure and discipline. Yeah. And it all starts from the home. Yeah. Thanks for taking my call this morning.
No, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thank you for contributing. I agree. And, I told Dwight when we talked about this whole, what was it? Get them, what's his name? Anyway, I'm happy that those fellas found some fame and have gone viral. But I'm gonna be honest. When someone sent the video to me, I think, or when I first saw the video, the expletives and the language in it, I cut it off immediately. I didn't find anything amusing or amazing about it when I first saw it, and so I didn't even really watch it. And so when people started talking about it, what? Get them what? Reggie. When I first saw it, the cussing started. I was like, nah, what is this? Right? So the young men have started to find some fame. I hope they do something positive with it. Let me just read some of these text messages. This person says, yes, Chester, you are correct. That text is short on analysis. Children out of wedlock is a part of the problem, but it's not by itself the problem. Yes. The other jurisdictions have a different set of variables that contribute to their results. Yes. This person says, me again with the Chile and Costa Rica stats. Did I mention that I came from a single-family home with a mother and 7 children? All are citizens, all raised children who are all now college-educated. My first 5 of 7 children were raised in single-mother homes after my first 2 divorces. All are university-educated and productive citizens. The same with all of my siblings, some who single mothers. By the way, the children were raised in the Bahamas and some in the United States. Same results. It boils down to parenting and instilling values in our children, provide a future for them, create opportunities for them. This is very difficult for many of the parents because of the financial opportunities available to the parents. This developed into a lack of time and interaction for family values. Yes. Did you grow up in a poor home in the inner city? The reason I asked about the proportion of beating to love is because I see a lot of instances in the street, in public, where some of these kids from these very poor families are beaten. I mean, cussed at, and I am pretty sure that when they get home, and that could turn somebody into a beast. I always marveled at little kids when their parents would discipline them and they would run back. And this is like toddlers, babies, before they start to rebel, right? I guess rebelling is a natural thing. But they would, their parents would discipline them, give them a little tap on the hand or whatever, and they'd run back and into their arms, And you see some parents, because maybe it's a natural reaction, but some parents will just like shove them back off because they're angry. And you're always told not to discipline in anger. right? Because the discipline is not, even though you might be upset about the situation that is causing you to discipline the child, you have to understand that children are curious little beings who create chaos. That's their nature. They're exploring the world around them, the things around them. They don't know what they are. They're going to get into trouble. So, you don't want them to get into so much trouble that they get hurt. And it gets you angry when they get into these situations. But you have to have patience with babies and toddlers and little kids. And it's tough. Trust me. I have little people around me. You have to have patience and you have to have love if you have to discipline. The love should be proportionate. Let's take this call coming in. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Hey, good morning, Chester, and compliments of the season.
Same to you.
Okay, listen. It's like someone said earlier, I think just a majority of people, it starts from the home.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible says, "Withhold not the correction from the child. If thou beatest with the rod, he shall not die."
Mm-hmm.
But you withhold from hell or from destruction.
Yep.
And Chester, you must discipline in love.
Right.
When my one girl was growing up, you know what we did? We took a hand towel or a piece of newspaper, and that's what we did a little spanking with. You know why? Because if you strike with your hands, and then you go to say to embrace that child will pull away from you because they believe you coming to hit them again. So if you take a piece of roll-up newspaper or some magazine and use that as a discipline tool. Now, there's different ways that you can discipline a child.
Mm-hmm.
There's chastisement, taking away privileges, things like that. You must know your child's temperament and how to discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, let's say the child go in the fridge, you send them in the fridge now to get some juice. They should ask, "Mommy, could I get some juice or Daddy?"
Mm-hmm.
So they pour out the juice, the glass might slip
Mm-hmm.
and drop. You don't take a frying pan, you don't take your hand and strike them for that because it happens. And a lot of parents does that. "Oh, you stupid, you couldn't do." I mean, like you said, that happened to me, glass slip with my hand and drop on the ground and broke. So you don't have to kill the child, but like you say now, you be a little more careful and everything like that.
Yeah.
So and like you said, withhold not the correction. Now, like you said, different areas you can discipline a child and bring them and train them. And when you use that newspaper or magazine, you'll never have a problem with child because they can say, "Mommy," you tell them what you're disciplined for. My children, guess what, Chester? They write, as they get a little older, they wrote out their own discipline, what should happen to them. And they signed it. And you guess what? When they break that rule, I say, "Go get it."
Yeah. Yeah.
I say, "What should happen to you?" "Well, this is what should happen to us."
Yeah.
One time, my daughter and my son, they got in a little squabble. That's like all children do. But I said, let's nip this in the bud. You know what I did? I grabbed all two of them, tied them up on the chair. Guess what, Chester? Let me tell you what happened. After a period of time, they turned around. "I'm sorry, I ain't do it no more."
Yeah.
And guess what? I never had a problem again because they acknowledged that they did wrong.
Yeah.
And so like I said, you must read good books as parents growing up, but a lot of parents, and like I said, they said, "Monkey see, monkey do." David said, "Son, give me thine heart and let thine eyes observe my ways." You telling your children to do something and then you what? Double standard. They see you do. So someone said godliness is more caught than taught. Lifestyle.
Yeah.
They see you tell them don't smoke, don't drink, don't cuss. But you blink, and then when that child blade out something, you want to take them and bust the motor. Because they hear and they grow and they seeing you hearing the words, so they believe that's the right words to say.
Yep.
So that's so important.
Yep, absolutely.
And so I tell people that they're disciplined with love and let them know what you discipline them for. And you will have children come up in the right way. But that home right now, one more thing, Chester. One time when I used to take up for Baptist Bible Church, Grand Forks, have a bunch of children around, You might remember those days. I didn't know you ever went to Baptist Bible Church driving a big yellow bus.
No.
And all I said, this lady coming, she cussing and she carrying on. I said, Miss, you don't see these little, and I said, you should have some respect.
Mm-hmm.
And she cussed. You bring my daughter worse than me. You think I bad? You can imagine that?
No.
Say my daughter worse than me.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to brag about.
Brag about, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
All right, let's take this next call and let's try to get to some of these text messages before we got to go. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend. Caller, you there? No? All right. This text message says, me too. I still don't see anything in that video. I think they're talking about Get Them Reggie, honestly. I hope they put the money to good use because their fame will be short-lived, same as the other young people who were exploited for their 10 minutes of fame. Florida Girl and the Vulgar Dancing Girl. I don't know the Vulgar Dancing Girl. This person says, Chester Jeff is spot on, but as far as the Get Them Reggie foolishness goes, we need to recognize that not all publicity is good publicity. The fact that so many adults acknowledge and encourage things like that speaks volume about where we are as a society in the Bahamas. Things aren't looking good. Keep up the great work, though, Chester. Thank you. This person says, a previous caller mentioned students' dress code. Check out how the parents are dressed. Absolutely no respect for themselves or children. I sit in my car and shake my head in shame when I see the way our mothers are dressed when coming to collect their children. This is totally unacceptable. So sad. This person says, congrats to that lady who has successful siblings from a single mother home. Yeah. All things remaining equal, imagine how much better the outcome would have been if the father was there as well. Just saying, okay? Not saying there are not good kids that come from single parent homes. However, it requires a lot of effort from that person. Two positive parents, keyword positive, will always produce parent. Simple maths. Yep. This person says, Chester, I grew up on the island of Exuma. Most of us get beat, Chester. Most of us grow up with single parents. Most of us, dad had to go on the contract, spend years, but the children grew up very good. Yeah. Not saying it can't happen. Not saying it can't happen. There are other variables involved in some of the children from single parent homes who turn out to be menaces to society. I come from a single parent home and I didn't turn out to be a menace to society, but I also grew up with a grandmother who took us to church every Sunday. And, we had good values in our homes, in the houses where we were. Both of my parents, spiritual people, so the other variables are very important. Let's take this final call before we have to go. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Morning, Chester.
Good morning.
Happy holidays.
Good. Happy holidays to you.
Chester, I think it starts with the family structure.
Yes.
It's like it started with my grandfather. I mean, he in 2013, he died in 97. He never been in the courtroom in his life. Mm-hmm. None of his children never been. None of us never, none of his grandchildren never been. Because he said he ain't going.
Yeah.
And his thing with education, going off to school. Like he pushed his children out the house to get married. Like we from East Street, where he started off from.
Mm-hmm.
But we left that. We didn't start we own a big lot there. But he didn't make his children best stay in there and make it other children. Like he pushed his children to create better children.
Yeah.
I your friend, I your Grammy, I your cousin, I your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Don't never play with me. That was she told me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know children and their mother, children and the parents drink rum together. Some children let their children smoke dope in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
Some even share it with their children.
Mm-hmm.
Like their children is their friend.
Mm-hmm.
And soon as they wouldn't pay to go to COB, but they'll pay the lawyer to get the children out of jail.
Mm.
That's what I've seen.
They'll find the money for that, huh?
If the child said, Mommy, I'm going to COB. Now I got no money. But she'll hire a lawyer and bail you out of jail quicker than getting you to go to a school.
Mm.
I think the family structure has lost.
Yeah.
Family structure. In my family, you get in trouble, you would be a pariah of the family.
Yeah.
I had a cousin who go dreads. My God, I told him twice, cut that hair. Man, don't go long here. And the third time, I said, don't come back in my yard until you cut your hair. That was my daddy told my cousin, and he meant it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, don't go long here. That was like 20 years ago. But now I get dreads and style. But that's how he go. He set the tone for his family.
Yeah.
Like, we are law-abiding family. Break the law, don't call him.
Mm-hmm.
My mother the same way.
Yeah.
When I got up to school, she gave me a pile of money, but she told me, don't call her from no jailhouse in the States. I put too much money on you. You smarter than this. And I met some devils now, but I know how far to go with them, because their mother may come, but mine ain't coming.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we just lost our way on young people smoking dope. The part of the brain that THC damage is called the frontal lobe. That part of the brain makes judgment calls. Behavior is sexual. Your speech, that get damaged.
Mm-hmm.
At 15, 14, you smoking, that's it. You make bad decisions for the rest of your life.
Mm.
Okay, Chester.
All right, thanks for the call.
That's my
Appreciate
top
it.
5 cents.
You have a good rest of the year.
Yes.
All right. All right, let's take the break and go to Morning Blend Business. We'll continue some of this conversation on the other side.
Towards the heights of the season, Scotiabank wanted to give the people a lift for mom, dad, and kids. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan and unwrap the perfect Christmas gift. Fix your home, buy new appliances, or go on vacation. Scotiabank is giving holiday cheer with an all-expense-paid weekend trip for 2 to Miami for 3 days and 2 nights. When you apply for a Scotia Plan loan from now until December 31st, enjoy low interest rates and no payments for up to 2 months. Unwrap the perfect Christmas.
Wherever you are in the world, Cleveland Clinic's world-class care is here for you. From Ohio to Florida to London, Cleveland Clinic treats thousands of patients every year. Ranked number 2 in the world by Newsweek, you can trust our caregivers to enhance your experience across each step of your treatment journey. For every care in the world, learn more at clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
It's been 35 years since Custom Computers was founded, and we'd like to celebrate that milestone by thanking you, our clients and customers. You've inspired 35 years of expert service and support, partnering with the world's leading brands like HP, Apple, and Microsoft. We take pride in setting the bar for what you expect and deserve from a homegrown Bahamian business. We're here to serve you when you need us, so call 396-1101. Custom Computers, raising the standard since 1987.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
What would you do with extra cash? Plan a trip.
Overhaul my wardrobe.
With CIBC First Caribbean, you can get comfy with savings on your mortgage cost. Buy or build your home or switch your mortgage to us and get up to US $1,000 off the loan application fee. Up to US $2,000 off home insurance. With up to US $10,000 towards switching costs, your pockets will be comfy too. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/get comfy for more information. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, December 28th. Only a few more days left in the year. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Chester Robards, filling in for Dwight Strachan for the rest of the year. And we're having a good conversation. I think we'll continue this conversation for a while longer about raising kids today and trying to figure out how to allay the ills of our society that come from some of these broken kids who grow up into dangerous adults. So we're trying to get a handle on what's happening in our country. This text message I didn't get to before the break says, Chester and Bahamas, good morning again. Believe it or not, the internet and cell phones do have their good about them, but cell phones and the internet have become a medium for much evil and wickedness. Cell phones can either become a university in a person's hand or a time bomb. Many folks are really addicted to cell phones for the wrong reasons. Satan has indeed found a medium to work through. And I think one of the callers mentioned taking your kids to church, but sticking a cell phone in their hand to keep them pacified while they're in church, which kind of defeats the purpose of taking them to church, I guess. Which is why I guess your church should have, activities for them that are biblical based, so that they can have something to do if they can't sit still in church. But cell phones and tablets, I think, and have found are a big problem. They've become the babysitter, and I've seen grandparents who, they take the parents take their child to the grandparents to spend some quality time, and the first thing the grandparents do these days is drop a device in their hand, say, "Okay, yeah, good to see you. Sit down." And they're completely absorbed by these things that they're watching. And then the things that they're watching are awash with a lot of messages that I'm sure if you thought your kids to be taking in. I mean, it seems to be difficult to find shows that don't move certain messages that you might not want your child picking up at such a young age, before they can understand certain things. So be careful. Even what is it? YouTube Kids, even that streaming platform has videos that get through whatever they use to screen them. So be careful. Let's take this call. Yeah, good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Good. How you doing? Nope. Something happened there? Okay. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Hey, good morning, Chester. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, another thing I think they need to look into is these barbershops, These barbershops, especially particular barbershop I go to, man, he be playing these rap music with these cussing and fellas them swinging their gun around and, girls some half naked and fellas them they're sitting there and waiting to get their haircut and they're spinning all of this foolishness, man.
Yeah.
I keep telling them, man, I say, look here, when you get children inside your barbershop, switch it or cut that off, man.
Yeah.
Even and sometimes the fellas, them little children be in the barbershop sitting down at least about half hour to 45 minutes, and they're soaking up everything.
Yeah.
I tell them, man, come on, man, you gotta be responsible, man.
Yeah, you're right.
So I was telling him about that, man. I said, man, you still got this garbage on? I said, man, you got to cut this off because the children are sitting on there and they're just focusing. And you could see they're just soaking and everything. It's just terrible, man.
Yeah.
These fellas got to do better.
Yeah. You're right.
All right, then.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And music is a powerful tool to influence people. You gotta remember that. And you got these music videos. I don't even understand. I don't listen to much rap music these days because I kind of don't understand it. I've turned like we all feared and we all do now. I've turned into my parents who didn't understand our music that we listened to. But a lot of these guys come from backgrounds. A lot of the people who make this music sometimes don't even come from the background of the things that they talk about. They have no experience in it. It's just a popular thing to say and do, and so they sing about it. Maybe they have a little talent in rapping. And then these young people take it to heart. And they're like, oh yeah, this guy lives this lifestyle and he's making money. I'm going to live this lifestyle too and make money. And you don't make any money. Just get in trouble. This person says, great show as usual. Which one was more effective, the slipper or the belt? The wooden spoon for me. Great show as usual. Question, back in the day, did we respect our parents or did we fear our parents? Little of both, huh? Where does respect come from? Think about the people you respect. Do you also fear them, even if they've never done anything to you? There's no punishment for wrongdoing. People get rewarded. If a child gets bad grades, they can get a PlayStation 5 for Christmas and an iPhone. Shake my head. We need to do better. Great show as usual. Some people should not have kids. Some people, every child they have in jail, they should learn to keep their leg closed. Okay. And this person says, stop patronizing the business. I guess you're talking about that barbershop. This person says, Chesty, you're right about rap culture. We have women like Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Sexy Red influencing and raising young girls to be harlots and sell their bodies. Yep. All right, we got a call coming. Maybe it's this person calling back. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Yes, morning.
Morning.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, what I was saying is that they should change the route of Junkanoo and let the parade start from off Shirley Street and run east on Shirley Street, go up as far as maybe Doctor's Hospital or further, and then come back around west onto Bay Street. And maybe they should have like VIP 1, VIP 2, VIP 3, and all that in Nova Scotia and surrounding Rawson Square. They could become like high-priced VIP areas, and maybe where all them vacant land is now, where they clear up all, knock down them buildings, you could hold more bleachers around that, you see, and just do one lap, one and done, and that's it. And my second one I want to contribute is maybe Barabbas needs to get together with the Prodigals and the Makers and come up with a group called Barabbas and the Prodigal Musical Makers. And let three of them amalgamate and they can become one group, and you never know, they might bring good things coming out of them.
Yeah.
Barabbas and the Prodigal Music Makers.
Hey.
Yeah, that's all I have to say. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Same to you. Have a good one. Barabbas and the Prodigal Music Makers. There's a ring to it, doesn't it? Boy. I was going to make a point and I don't remember. The route. The route that he was talking about. You said up Shirley Street and then down onto Bay Street. From where, I don't know, but I'm not sure you could take a Junkanoo band. As far as I think, I wouldn't even say I know, there are noise ordinances around hospitals. There are, right? Right. So that's why a big Junkanoo band shouldn't be passing two hospitals on the way. So I don't know if you want to be laying in your sick bed with music blaring outside, or the doctor working in the ER with music carrying on. So yeah, this This person said, we trying to solve our crime problems, and he talking about Junkanoo. We talking about Junkanoo too. Junkanoo could solve some of our crime problems. You know, I'd love to see a lot more young fellas trying to use their creativity and be in the shack and learn an instrument and, you know, join a group. We talking about technical cadets and all of those. This is a Junkanoo cadet. You know, you should have Junkanoo cadets. Like Vola Francis said in this story, you know, he literally cried tears when he saw the work that the young people involved with the Saxons are doing with costuming. You know, it's a good thing. You know, that's one of our needs more creative minds, young creative minds coming up and joining them. So I'll say yeah. Also, yeah, this text message just said that that parade route, if it passed the hospitals, you'd also be blocking up the road and wouldn't be able to get to the hospital if there was an emergency. So yeah, we wouldn't want to go down that way. I mean, you could still close up Bay Street and start east. Start on Bay Street down there. So this text message saying you want someone who's produced quality Bay Street performances to oversee Prodigal Sons. The primary goal is quality, not more of the same. We don't need more B performances in the A class. Someone like Darren Bastian would be perfect. So they say correction, someone who's produced quality Bay Street performances. So you want Darren to do what? To take over the group? To oversee the group. Okay. Mentor the group. All the words are coming in. Who's Darren Bastian? They're just saying he's a good example of someone who could. What are the words? Oversee, mentor. Yeah. So there's that. All right. Let's I did want to talk about some. This is Morning Blend business. I guess we're not having our guests come in. We can still talk about what we're talking about, but you know, in the business section in the Nassau Guardian today, we had the head of the investment authority, the Bahamas Investment Authority, saying that we're no longer interested in these foreign direct investment projects that are only going to produce jobs. And only thing that these foreign direct investment projects are coming with a couple of jobs, right? What really is the big benefit for Bahamians in terms of entrepreneurial opportunities? That's one thing that the director of the Bahamas Investment Authority, Felicia Woods Hanna, was saying in a recent episode of A Closer Look, that if the project doesn't make sense for the country, they don't even look at it anymore, right? And I think what I got from that interview was that the government is, and like they've done with Royal Caribbean, with the Paradise Island project, and I hope it wasn't just to kind of appease the masses and so the project could go through, but there's an investment component for Bahamians. The entire project itself would be run by Bahamians if they can find Bahamians to qualified enough to take over every aspect of that project, right? And they've already hired a president for the island, for the Beach Day project over there on Paradise Island. And so they want Bahamian entrepreneurs to run the concessions and open the stores and take care of the property and run the physical plant, and not just hire an individual, but bring in a company. Maybe if a Bahamian owns a company that does those things to do that, right? And I think that's what Felicia Woods-Hannah is saying, that future projects in the Bahamas should look like. That investors who come to look at the Bahamas, come to purchase a private island and do an investment, build a hotel or whatnot, should come prepared to give up a small slice of it in terms of the level of investment Bahamians will be allowed to have in it. So, again, like the Royal Caribbean project, a percentage of that project to allow to be publicly owned, right, through an offering. And I expect that we would see that offering sometime soon. They were still working that out. They were hoping to get it out by the end of the year, but I think they're still working on some things with the government as it pertains to that plan for that development. So hopefully, this isn't just lip service. Hopefully, moving forward, when you see heads of agreement signing for any future projects in this country, one of the components will be that maybe you'll be able to own a small percentage of that development. If it's a small boutique resort, if it's a medium-sized resort, if it's whatever they work out with the Grand Lucayan eventually in Grand Bahama, that maybe you can own a small percentage of it, and at the lowest level of money you could come up with, be able to buy some shares in those projects. Because we had some texters talk about disenfranchisement of men. I mean, Bahamians in general, I'm sure, feel disenfranchised when it comes to what they can build in the country compared to what other people come into the country to build, because they come with the resources. They have resources available. They have their accessibility to lending in their own countries is far easier than what we have in our own country that allows them to do things. I have a good friend, Meg, always asking me, why didn't a Bahamian group buy the Hilton, the British Colonial, and redevelop it? Probably costs a lot. But there was a Bahamian consortium prepared to redo the cruise port. They put in a bid. There were Bahamian groups apparently who put in bids for the Grand Lucayan. They weren't successful, but they were ready to take it over. A lot of times, some of these Bahamian groups have some foreign investor with them, but hey, if you have the ways, the means, the will, and the hope, but you don't have the experience, you grab the experience from someone who's been in the business, right? And who may have the financing available. Again, the U.S., some of these U.S. Groups have financing available to them very easily, and we don't have the same level here. This person says, east of Bay Street is Section 11. You ain't safe. Okay. So don't start Junkanoo east of East Street. So you don't want to see Junkanoo start east of East Street. They say east of Bay Street is Section 11. They mean east of East Street is Section 11. Okay. So this person, this text message talking about what we were talking about. There was an American cable network, Paramount TV, that did a marathon of Die Hard for Christmas Day. And they continue, the sick people of the world keep trying to push Die Hard as a Christmas movie solely because it is set at an office Christmas party. But when you have a whole bunch of people claiming that's their favorite Christmas movie, including Bahamians, it just shows how sick we all are and how much work there is to do. I am part of that joke. Is it a joke anymore? Die Hard Part 1 is a Christmas movie. Plain and simple. I think people just having a little fun with that one. This person says, Die Hard Part 1 is a Christmas movie, Chief. Oh, boy. So what do you think? Are we turning a corner in terms of foreign direct investment in this country? Have our leaders finally decided that Bahamians need to have a stake in the things that come into their country? In most of the things, I'm not going to say all of the things, because I'm sure there are going to be some investors who come in here and say, nah, you know, I didn't come prepared to spend my money so that I could make money for your people too. But there are going to be some who are like, yes, I'm coming into your country. I'm developing things. I'm tearing down trees and building and dredging and building docks. Sure, let your people get a piece of this pie while I make a couple million. You know, are we going to have more investors saying that? Are we going to have the government telling them that they need to come with that plan, even if it's rejected because it's too small or whatever it is? So, yeah. This person says, killing people is Christmas. No, killing people is not Christmas. This other text message. Also, boy, we shape bad. We are too overweight as a society. How we get so fat as a people? We don't eat well. So maybe that's the contribution to the overweight society. Non-communicable diseases are killing us, so we know that that's true. Boy, we don't. We talk about this on the show all the time. Men don't go to the doctor. I don't know if it's fair or what it is. I just had this conversation with my cousin and his cousin yesterday about going to the doctor. You know, men got to take care of themselves as well. You know, if you feel, I got a friend who any little ache or pain, he at the doctor, and there's nothing wrong with that. And men have to get that through their minds. If they want to be around for a long time and take care of their kids and provide for their families, go to the doctor, please, guys. Get checked out. Make sure that you're healthy. You know, I got bad cholesterol that's high. I had to change some eating habits. You know, I got a young daughter. I want to be around and see her do things and grow up. You know, it starts there. I got another text message coming in saying, Chester, that woman from Yellow Elder said, don't blame the parents. Okay, when my kids get in trouble, I will blame her and they can lock her up. I don't think that's with that. I don't think she was saying we shouldn't blame the parents. I think she because she went into the point that there are some children who end up running their homes for whatever reason. You know, there is that happens, and you know, some psychologically, some people just end up being a little bit off the wall, and you know, they show antisocial behavior and do bad things. luck of the draw there, I guess, in some cases. I am not reading this text message that you just sent. That's terrible. Okay. So again, going back to this, we're in Morning Blend business, so I wanted to bring up this point about investments. Next year, will we see, Disney is continuing to build their feature at Lighthouse Point that should open in 2020. I think that by the middle of next year, by the middle of 2024, they hope to open. And they've been trying to get Bahamian businesses to come on as tour providers and to sell crafts and stuff. So the projects that are coming into this country, how are we going to shape them to benefit us? It's no longer, and I hope this is, like I said, I hope this is what the Director of Investment, Felicia Woodsana, is saying. No longer are we going to allow foreign direct investment to come in, use our resources, contribute to its degradation in some way, shape, or form, and not have Bahamians benefit in some way, shape, or form from these developments. This person says, "Good morning. I'm still trying to understand how Saxons win best music, best costume, or performance." They say best costume or performance, but not music. Again, morning. Yeah, I'm hearing that too from people. They don't understand how they won all those categories. But they do agree that the Saxons came with something, just not all. So, again, going back to foreign direct investment, I've written a few stories recently about the Bahamians, that's what it's called, trying to get the government to understand there's a certain sector of yacht charters that Bahamians are not allowed to do, and I think they aren't allowed to charter vessels over 50 feet, and so most of the mega yachts, super yachts, those big yachts that obviously probably come with big paydays for these yacht charter companies, they're from the U.S. These American firms and companies are sending boats here or have boats already here, and they allow people to charter them. So they fly into the country, they jump on these yachts, they sail around, or they just chill in the yacht, wherever the yacht is, and enjoy that time. And who's making the money off of it? Not Bahamians. Maybe the government's getting some taxes, and who knows if that's even happening properly. But Bahamians involved in the yachting industry are saying this is anti-competitive behavior. It's unfair, and we want a piece of the pie. And I can't understand why it exists in the way that it exists. But they're saying, as a Bahamian, you cannot sell a charter of a yacht that's more than 50 feet to anyone. So, however that works. Again, Bahamians do not want to be left out of contributing to industries in the country. They want better protections for the industries that are just for Bahamians. I guess they want better policing of those things as well, because there are some industries that foreigners are not supposed to have their hands in, but they do, and it's just hush-hush. Nobody's doing anything about it. I think in some instances we're just afraid to put our foot down because we don't want to run the business. But then you destroy business for Bahamians by not doing that. So this person says, take the government to court if true. This is a gross violation of the Constitution. There should be no limits to what Bahamians can or cannot do. Yeah, I actually don't get it. And I've talked to Bahamians in the brokerage industry several times about this, and I still don't get it. And it seems to be that is what it is. They're not allowed to sell charters. They're not allowed to charter these big boats. Like these big charter firms in the States are the only ones that can do it. Let's take this call coming in. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend Business.
Good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm listening to you with the limitation that is placed on Bahamians to make money.
Yeah.
You know, and my thing is, if the yachting industry is so strict, they have the Bahamian laws have it so strict that Bahamians can't charter over 50 feet.
Mm-hmm.
How about, say, the straw market, which is supposed to be for Bahamians only? How is it we have so much foreigners in there and so easily? How is that not being policed the way they are policing the other thing that only Bahamians can do is not being policed as tight as what foreigners can do that Bahamians is forbidden to do? How is that possible?
Yeah.
You know, that's not fair. I mean, see, this is why we need open and transparent government so we can know these things. This is the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a surprise to me when I heard it too.
Because I had an opportunity to buy a vessel that was abandoned. Mm-hmm. And my plan for it was to purchase it and lease it.
Yeah.
But it seems like that would have been a waste of my funds because now it's a good thing I didn't purchase it because I didn't know I couldn't lease it.
And it was more than 50 feet?
It was 51.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know how that would have gone. But in terms of chartering, the business itself, apparently they can't do it.
Wow, and yet they are saying Bahamas is Bahamians. Which Bahamians?
Yeah.
Who made these rules? Why can't these rules, are they written in stone like the Ten Commandments or what? Can these rules be changed?
Oh, they can be changed. Yeah.
Just that no one is interested in changing them. Because they don't want to, I guess, bite the hand that, I guess, quote unquote, feeds them.
That's what we're asking.
That doesn't make no sense to me.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Thank you for the call. So they're asking for some change there, and hopefully they get some answers. I would love to understand it. This text message says the entire business regime needs to be overhauled. Yeah, and they've talked about that too. I know some things are being worked on, but there's a lot more that needs to be done. Making it easier for Bahamians to start business, to work in business, it is extremely expensive. Extremely expensive to bring things. If you're starting a business, your costs are already twice as high as anybody, you're competing against in the U.S. People like, order T-shirts, printing T-shirts for printing in the States and then ship them in. Because, on top of the expense to buy the equipment to do that, Bahamians have to get paid as well. So, their costs are sometimes double or triple, what you could do with a vendor right in Miami. So unless you need some of these things right away and you can't wait for shipping, then you ante up the money and get it done locally. But if you have the time and you can plan ahead, most people wouldn't do it. And it needs to be corrected. It needs to be fixed. This person says, in some areas reserved for Bahamians, foreigners are getting in through Bahamians themselves. They are loopholes that are exploited, I guess. But yes, that is the problem. This person says we should have boat making in schools from grade 5. Sell them to people in Key West. Maybe. But yeah, this text is true. In some areas reserved for Bahamians, foreigners are using Bahamians as fronts. And some Bahamians don't mind being fronts because they get paid too, just to be the front. I don't know how you stop that. If it's a partnership and that Bahamian has the majority of the shares, c'est la vie. Still want to hear from you. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call toll free from the Family Islands, 242-300-5720. On the text line, 422-GR96, 422-4796. You can text us. Tell us what you think about it. Tomorrow, hopefully, we will have all of our co-hosts, or most of the co-hosts, I know Laverne is traveling, on the show to wrap up the year. And, of course, we want you to stay with us and join us for that conversation tomorrow. So don't forget to tune in. And let's talk about the year that was 2023 and see what we come up with. We're going to go to a break? Yeah, let's go to a break and we'll return to wrap up the show.
I remember, I used to say, if and when I grew up, I wanted to find myself a woman. But I wanted the kind of woman that would love, want, and need me as much as my mama loved, wanted, and needed my dad. I said to myself, I said, if I'm lucky enough to find this kind of woman, I'll never go away and leave my woman the way he went away and left his. Well, I found me one. I found the kind of woman that I dreamed of finding as a little boy. And that's why I'll make every day seem like Christmas.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Towards the heights of the season, Scotiabank wanted to give the people a lift for mom, dad, and kids. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan and unwrap the perfect Christmas gift. Fix your home, buy new appliances, or go on vacation. Scotiabank is giving holiday cheer with an all-expense-paid weekend trip for 2 to Miami for 3 days and 2 nights. When you apply for a Scotia Plan loan from now until December 31st, enjoy low interest rates and no payments for up to 2 months. Unwrap the perfect Christmas with Scotiabank.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. We understand that your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnoses and true personalized treatment begins. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshosp.com.
There's a new electric vehicle in town, the Jack brand of SUVs, trucks, sedans, and commercial vans, available only at Easy Car Sales, home of the fully electric vehicle. For a powerful, smooth ride at a fraction of the cost to drive, leave the pump behind and hit the road with Jack. Visit easy242.com to see our brand new Jack models and drop into Easy Car Sales for a test drive. It'll have you singing.
hit the road with Jack, and don't you pump gas no more.
Struggling to repay your loan? Let us help you get back on track with payment terms that suits your financial situation and improve your credit score and credit report with the Bahamas Credit Bureau. Inquire about our restructured loans today. Call us at 356-7764.
Cashmas is here at Percy's Island Game. 78 winners, $250,000 in cash and prizes, and a grand prize of $50,000 in cash. And there's more! 7-day Caribbean and Alaska cruises, 7-day trips to New York, Las Vegas, and London, TVs, iPads, cell phones, and 3 brand new 2023 Toyotas. Enter to win each time you deposit $20 on your verified account at the only place with the cash, the cruises, the toys, the trips, and the cars this Cashmas, and that's Percy's Island Game.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Twas the heights of the season. Scotiabank wanted to give the people a lift for mom, dad, and kids. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan and unwrap the perfect Christmas gift. Fix your home, buy new appliances, or go on vacation. Scotiabank is giving holiday cheer with an all-expense-paid weekend trip for 2 to Miami for 3 days and 2 nights. When you apply for a Scotia Plan loan from now until December 31st, enjoy low interest rates and no payments for up to 2 months. Unwrap the perfect Christmas with Scotiabank.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama and the opposition's Shadow Minister for Finance, Kwesi Thompson, called the government's recently released monthly fiscal summary report for September alarming, contending that the country's first quarter budget deficit of $58 million for this fiscal year is not in line with the government's fiscal deficit targets and higher than the same quarter last year. Thompson, in a statement he released yesterday, said, given the information in the report, he says, quote, "This is no doubt why both the credit rating agency Standard & Poor's and the IMF are projecting that this Davis administration will bust its budget deficit targets by a huge margin." He continued, "Instead of seeing a rapidly shrinking deficit in line with the government's broader fiscal plan, we see a deficit for the first quarter that has exploded year on year. The deficit seems to be well in excess of what should have been the target for the first quarter of the year." And despite a reversal of foreign currency transactions with the public sector and lower currency sales to commercial banks during November, foreign reserves continued to decline to just over $2.46 billion, according to the Central Bank of the Bahamas. This continues the decline from $2.49 billion in October, $2.58 billion in September, and $2.73 billion in August. During the review month, the reduction in external reserves slowed to $30.6 million from $108.4 million in the preceding year, for an ending balance of $2,463.4 million. Underpinning this development, the central bank's foreign currency transactions with a net intake of $17 million from a net sale of $53.5 million in the preceding year. And the Bahamas Investment Authority is no longer interested in simple job creation from foreign direct investment, but is more interested in the creation of entrepreneurial opportunities and the larger contribution of proposed developments to the Bahamian economy, Director of Investments Felicia Woods-Hanna said on a recent episode of A Closer Look, a show about national issues hosted by Irabina Apia. And November sees an 11% growth in departures through LPIA, continuing the trend in visitor expansion during 2023. Data from the Nassau Airport Development Company revealed an 11.3% increase in passenger departures from Linden Pending International Airport during the announcement earlier this month that the Bahamas set a new record in visitor arrivals, exceeding 8 million visitors through the first 10 months of the year, January to October. The departure numbers for November, though they include domestic travelers, give an indication of stopover visitor activity for the month. Overseas, U.S. companies are picky about investing in China. The exceptions, burgers and lattes. There's been no shortage of tough news for China's economy as some of the world's biggest brands consider or take action to shift manufacturing to friendlier shores at a time of unease about security controls, protectionism, and wobbly relations between Beijing and Washington. Count Adidas, Apple, and Samsung among those looking elsewhere. But as a tumultuous 2023 for the Chinese economy comes to a close, there has been at least one bright spot for Beijing when it comes to foreign investment. American fast food chains have decided a market of 1.4 billion people is simply too delicious to pass up. KFC China's parent company opened a restaurant in China this month and aims to have stores within reach of half of China's population by 2026. McDonald's is planning to open 3,500 new stores in China over the next 4 years, and Starbucks invested $220 million in manufacturing and distribution facility in eastern China, its biggest project outside of the U.S. This is surely not what Chinese President Xi Jinping had in mind as he made the case to American CEOs about the upside of China's super large market last month while he was in San Francisco for a summit of world leaders. The investments in fast food and other consumer goods, while Washington is curbing exports of computer chips and other advanced technology, don't fit into China's own blueprint for modernizing its economy. That's your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Welcome back to Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Chester Robards. And that is our time. Just want to read this last text message. The U.S. State Department published a report about U.S. investors complaining about being shaken down in return for contracts. If you in the shakedown business, it makes more economic sense to shake down a man with $1 million as opposed to a man with thousands of dollars, i.e. the foreigner. Just my theory. All right. This person says, Chester, Bahamians do need more investment opportunities like the Nassau Cruise Port and Arawak Port shares. The government is good at throwing crumbs out, but the meat and potato opportunities like creating wealth are non-existent. These heads of agreements where they trample Bahamians to allow foreigners to own and invest for a few jobs is despicable. They need professional negotiators that can create ways to include desiring Bahamians, not just elite cronies. And the church says, Amen. That is our show for today. Thank you so much for calling in and texting in your contributions to round out the year of Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business, and hopefully some of your favorite co-hosts as well. That's our show. On the Clock with Aaron Green is up next. Be good to each other. God bless, and have a great day, Bahamas.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carol being sung by a choir, and the folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows
turkey and some mistletoe.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.